Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Addled Building with Akiva. Now, I am currently taking a break from the Wedgetail because I don't really know what I want to do with it, and I really want to work on this one, something that I was working on while my PC was a brick, and I'd rather work on this because I know what I want to do with it. I have some examples of what I want to do with it, and it's just overall a more interesting project to work on and probably going to be a more engaging project because it's a bit smaller and I already have an idea of what I want to do with it. So let's go ahead and get started. And for those of you who don't know what this project is, this is the... Gotta actually look at my notes here. This is the Embrace of Darkness. Now, this is another vanilla ship, of course, because I don't really want to build for Reforged right now because I don't play Reforged right now. And as you guys know, if I don't play in Reforged, I don't build for Reforged. It is what it is. So let's go ahead and get Symmetry Plane on here and start doing some things. Start mapping out some changes I want to do. So as you can see here, it is somewhat asymmetrical on the vertical axis, and that was due to just not having access to the vertical symmetry plane because I only had access to one symmetry plane at a time, so I kind of had to, yeah, it was not fun. But it was doable, either way. So I had the idea of having an open center area here on the nose, and it's just something that I'm very happy with. This build I am very happy with all around. I mean, I'm not really happy that I had to put in a hanger, and it doesn't really look great shaping wise, but you know, it works. And yes, it is a top mounted hanger because I couldn't really get a bottom mounted hanger in here because of just how the ship is built and how it's too far off the ground, and putting a ramp in here would just not help anything. So I'm not going to do that, and the shaping wouldn't have allowed it anyways. Now, as you can see here, I have some issues where I have sort of that shape, and you might be thinking, well, Akiva, what happened there? Well, this block doesn't exist in the version I was playing in, okay? It just doesn't exist. So if you see that issue somewhere in a build, that's why. In any of my recent builds, that's why. I just decided on a whim that I'm not going to have it look exactly the same as it was up there on the top. So it is going to be a little bit more asymmetrical as we go forward, but hopefully not too much. And because we are building in vanilla, I am just going to be using steel for shaping. Just because, yeah, it is what it is. Now, there is one other thing that I need to do, and that is update the paint scheme, because I didn't have access to the paint scheme. As you can see, I've worked a lot on this already. This is just easier than me alt-tabbing out to Discord and getting the paint coloring. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this, and then we're going to configure it. So first off, I select that one, and then I hold down Shift, and I select that one. And then I just hit paste. There we go. Now it turned black because, well, I have a feeling that I messed that up. Not what I meant to do. There we go, that should do it. Now if we configure that particular color, there we go. Back to the way it was. There we go. Now, before I get rid of the paint tool, I should probably uncheck those two things because it's a pain in the butt. So recently I was asked in the official Discord how the replace blocks commands work. And I'm going to go ahead and do that here because I need to check something. So replace blocks command is something that you can use. Do I really want to do it on this one? No, I don't. Okay. So first off, you want to save a copy of what you're working on to use the replace blocks. So I'm just going to save this as V1, okay? And then you want to respawn it. And yeah. Might help if I have the filter set correctly. There we go. Just gonna move that there and put it over there. And then next step to replace blocks is just typing DI in the console. Ignore all that spam of, yeah, whatever. Okay, so we are looking for the third line down on the left side of this thing, and that is the ID equals 1032. So first off, we're going to type in help replace blocks. Now this is something that I do for the simple reason that it just gives me a use case, okay? And I like that. Replace blocks entity ID, which we're currently looking at it, which is 1032 in this case. Remember that this ID can be as long as 8 digits, depending on how old your save is, or if you're on a server. If you're on a server using this particular command, you're screwed. Whether you're admin or not, you're screwed. Don't do that. Don't use this command on a server. It says right there in capital letters, don't use this command on a server, okay? Doesn't even matter if it's a creative server. Don't use it on a server. Okay, replace blocks 1032. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. It says wrong number parameters. That is intentional. I just want it in there. Okay, so this is a container extension, and we want to remove it. We don't want to replace it. We want to remove it. So now that we're looking at it, we open the console, and up here in that little debug info box, at the very, very bottom of it on the left side, you will see container extension large while you're looking at container extension. That is the block that you're looking at. So we are going to type in, and this is the source block name, container extension large. And make sure there are no typos, because I am the typo king and don't want to be like me. And then we're just going to type 0. That removes every single container extension. Of the full block kind. Now there are some other container extensions, but that will allow me to see where the container extensions were. Okay? And that's what I want. There we go. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and destroy this because I don't need to remove container extensions on it. I thought I did, and then I was already committed to doing the tutorial for the replace blocks. But then I realized that I had textured them and integrated them fully already, and I was just like, nah, I'm not going to remove them. Anyways, I hope you find that useful. and I hope that helps you in your building. That's the whole idea of these videos. Now, we were working down below. This. So we want to go ahead and copy the color and just put it here. Don't need to have symmetry plane on when you're doing this to this particular block shape because it's not going to copy over anyways. Because the game is, well, Empyrean. The game is the game. Now, I did just realize that I made a mistake here. So we're just gonna move this back just a little bit. Move that block, that block, that block, and that block. And then we're just gonna go to full blocks. Try not to put it there. And put it there. Huh. Okay, maybe not. Might be wondering, Akiva, why did you do that? Well, I did that because, give me a second, undo one more time. I don't like that this is this shape right here. I just don't like this look right there. It's personal preference. It is what it is. Oh well. So let's try something else. Just going to do that and copy that and move it. And again, we're just going to do this instead. So we're just going to change up shape so it looks more what I want it to look like. There we go. That looks better. It was as simple of a fix as that. Why did you not copy to that? Oh, because I was in the way. Okay. There we go. Sometimes I have these blocks that are just too much, but I want to keep a glowy style going, and sometimes I will just cover them up with some thin blocks like I just did there, just to tone it down a bit. Because glowies sometimes just need to chill out. Okay. For those who know, they know. Anyways. I'm sure there's another joke there somewhere, but whatever. Now, as you can see here on the internals, I have a hangar bay. And the reason I have a hangar bay here is just to take up space and not add extra weight to the ship. When I do this, I use this technique all the time because I don't like adding extra weight to the ships. And I feel like I'm just reiterating myself there, but that's alright. Adding internal space always adds to size class. So if I was to make like RP rooms in here, it'd add to size class more than just empty space, at least in my mind. But considering how detailed I went through and made this, I have a feeling that it's better just to fill it in. But as I said, sometimes I cater to my audience when I can, and people like carriers for whatever reason. As we showed in one of the Reaper project videos, I often use, let's just go ahead and copy the block. I often use this block right here to get a pushed out, to get a raised edge there. And that is something that I use just a lot, and something that I'm trying to use more. Because having that little raised edge there allows to add some texture depth. Now, the reason I'm saying this now and talking about it is because it does add to size class. Having negative space or empty space in build adds to size class. So when you're building a ship and you're trying to save on size class, look for anything internal where you can go in and just fill it in with a full block. So this area right here needs to be filled in. The reason it's not filled in right now, however, is simply because I plan on putting generators there. So let's go ahead and do that. So we are going to go ahead and put some decoy generators in here. Also because they just look cool when you're coming down the hallway. Sometimes it's not purely decoys. Okay, sometimes I have other ideas for, or I have other reasons for doing certain things. Okay, there we go. Now it is important that you do not put these right next to each other, so we're gonna have to put combat here. And we're going to surround them with combat steel along their bottom edges. Again, I'm only using combat steel in places where it's going to be right on top of the generator, because I don't want to add more weight than I need to add. And there are some actual power generators there, but these are just going to be decoys. Okay, so what I can do is I guess I could do that. I don't know. We'll see in a second. My mind's wandering a little bit here. Too many ideas, too little time, type of thing. Then we're just going to put this block around it. And then just this. Just replace those textures now that it's finished. And we're good to go. And that hallway's done. For the time being, anyways. Well, I need to add glass, I think, here. Do I have proper glass? No, I don't. Okay, I need to just spawn in. Okay, let's do armored windows. So I don't like how it's 2 and then a space and then 1 there. So what I'm going to do, because this is going to be decoys anyways, is go ahead and put some forward drive thrusters here. And the reason behind this is that some NPC turrets also target thrusters, so we might as well take advantage of that. And since I don't want that style there, so be it. Okay, there we go. Again, make sure to turn those two selection box off, that way you don't have to selection boxes off, that way that you don't make that mistake that I made earlier and have a random texture there that looks horrible. It just saves you time. Let's go ahead and put those. And these, oh, I'm getting low on on blocks. Let's remedy that. Alright. Then we're coming down to having the miso rye over here. The miso rye. Not miso rye, miso. Now, this is based on this design right here. And how do I state this? Oh, for Pete's sakes, I keep making mistakes on that. Okay. I'm going to fix that while I know it's there. Give me a second. This is a different project for a different video. But we are using it as sort of a guide right now. So as you can see here, with this one, in order to get some space in the back, I merged it. I didn't make as much space as I wanted to, but I did merge it by doing this sort of thing. And I'm trying to do that on this one right here, but instead of merging them closer together back here, I put them further apart. So we need to fix that and work on that today. And I didn't have symmetry plane at the time, the double symmetry plane at the time, so I didn't want to work on it because it's just, yeah. So we are going to merge it along here. So first off, I need to grab some Xeno steel blocks. And if you hear dogs barking, that's because they're being dumbasses. Give me a second to go deal with them. Okay, dogs have been dealt with. I just put them in a room and close the door. Because apparently they're barking at the neighbors, and I don't have time for that. I played with them this morning, and they're just barking at the neighbors. Come on. Those of you who have dogs will know, and they are just nuts. Okay. So, I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and copy this. And flip it over a bit. I love my dogs, but they get on my nerves. Well, that wasn't right. What is going on here? Ah, there we go. Yes, I'm using Xeno steel here. It is what it is. Yeah. I may switch it out later, but for the moment I will be using Xeno steel. In creative, you can always undo and switch things out, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. One of the downsides of working with this shape is that you have to... Right, that happened. Anyways, one of the downsides of working with this shape is that you occasionally just have to... How do I phrase this? Build extra in order to... And then just constantly remove it because it's just... It is what it is. Now, I might end up cutting this down a little bit later, but for the moment, I just want this here so that I can test it. Gotta get my bearings here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Now, when this happens, there we go. When this happens and you've got sort of this randomly dark textured color there when you're building, it's just, don't worry about it. Just turn off the power, turn it back on, and it'll glow up. It'll light the textures up, the emissives up properly. I don't know why it happens. There's no rhyme or reason to it when it happens. I've got a theory, but it doesn't really work. Doesn't really make sense in my head. So it happens. That works. Just doing a little texture as we go. So what we were trying to do, God ram, I just cannot remember where that is. What we were trying to do is implement this layer, this sort of shape behind it, but in a different way, and I'll get to that in the next video. Heck, I might actually get to it in this video, the way this video is going quickly. Next, I want to, again, duplicate that shape and push it further back. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and just get it started. And I don't need to overbuild because we've already got the base layer here. So I'm just going to do this up to... You know what? I'll probably have to do it later anyways if I commit to it. So let's just go ahead and fill it out. And this is where the vertical and lateral symmetry planes, not lateral, left, right, lateral, longitudinal, I don't know. This is where multiple symmetry planes come in. I wish I had the ability to change the radicals color, the targeting radicals color. Oh well, someday. Okay, now that's added, we can do the fun part. So realistically, on a vanilla CV, you only need one of these giant thrusters forward and backwards. Well, one of these giant thrusters or the XL thrusters in every direction. Doesn't, yeah. But if you've watched my channel any amount of time, you understand that I like overkill, and I also like redundancy. So, yeah, I'm going to add a little bit of redundancy here. There we go. Now, because I've added these thrusters here, it means that I need to add the amount of proper armor to it. So we need to add armor to it. Now, I know these thrusters are exposed, and it's something that, with the hit points available with these thrusters, just the sheer amount of hit points that these thrusters have, 1 or 2 stray shots is not going to cause a big headache, okay? I'm not worried about it. And as you also may be aware of the way I build, I will be adding decoys further out that will draw fire. So these thrusters taking 1 or 2 extra hits just because it's splash damage or an NPC misses is completely fine. And I'm not going to worry about it because it improves the overall performance of the ship. Not adding just that little extra weight and will increase the performance a bit. Now, it is also important to make sure that you check symmetry plane every once in a while, because sometimes you forget to turn it on. So just looking around, double checking that I have symmetry plane now, and that's fine. It's also a good idea that when you're working on a ship, you make sure to save lots of backups. A game backup, such as using this backup feature, is something to use maybe every 24 to 48 in-game hours. You don't want to save multiple backups this way because, yeah. I mean, in creative, you don't even need to save a backup as long as you're saving your blueprints regularly. But in a survival game, it's good to use this probably every 6 hours of gameplay. More if you're starting, more if you're just starting out. But that's a judgment call that you need to make. Just remember that every time you press that, you duplicate the save. It does not save it doesn't save a compressed copy. It saves an actual copy. And these game files, the more you explore a galaxy, these game files will get really, really big. Like 20 gigabytes to 100 gigabytes sometimes. I'm not kidding. So use this sparingly if your game is getting really big. If you're starting out, don't worry about it. And just be sure to clear out your backups regularly. Just keep 2 or 3 maximum, and then just delete the rest. Just, yeah. Handy little tip there. And remember that this game does not have a native autosave function, so I save a copy of the ship I'm working on every hour. And that is why, when you go here, once I remove filters, this is why I have so many copies of this. Well, not particularly this one. I've only spent like 3 or 4 hours on it. But I have multiple copies here because I saved it at different stages, which is also something you can do, but make sure that you just, yeah. Yeah. And we are just going to override that one because, yeah, we're going to override that one because that one was saved when I was showing the replace blocks command. So, yeah, we don't need to worry about that. Okay, let's go ahead and continue working on this. Now, one thing I am not sure of here is if this is going to be on under another layer of hull blocks or not. Either way, I can figure that out later. It's fine. And then I'm just putting steel here. Or, not steel, hardened steel here. I had tea this morning. I shouldn't be yawning. Anyways. Let's just do steel here. Or hardened steel there. And we're good. Because I don't know what's going to be around this. So I'm just going to put hardened steel. Assuming that it's going to be something like, I don't know, fuel tanks or something. Who knows? Okay. Now that is going to push the size back a little bit. I have plans for that. And let's go ahead and get started on those plans. We are going to add another wing like this over this. Let's see. So we're going to do another one of these wings right here over it. And it's going to be up a ways. So let's do 1, 2. 1, 2. And we can just drag that instead of double clicking every time. Now, is that the distance I want it to be? No, it's not. Okay, let's undo that. Well, that's going to make things a little bit more annoying, but whatever. Before I get too far into this, I should probably just test it and see if this is what I want to do. Yeah, it is. Okay. Wait, should that be pushed forward? Ah, dang it, I did the same thing. Not too bad to deal with that, but it's a bit annoying. Let's get that all the way back up to there. We'll figure that shape out later. And again, copy that. There we go. And we have that layer now. I just realized that I'm using hardened steel there, and that's not what I wanted to do. Please tell me that's not hardened steel. No, it was copied, so it's fine. Just gonna fix that real quick while I'm looking at it. You know, before I do this, I should probably make sure it's gonna line up. Give me a second. Yeah, it's gonna line up, it's fine. I'll worry about that in a moment. So if you're wondering what I just said, I'll worry about that in a moment about, let me show you. So when I was just putting there, I had an idea. And that was, instead of using that particular block there, why not just use a full block? So I'm just going to test it here on the end. It just adds a little bit of texture depth. And since it's going to be a merge anyways, why not? Looks like it's teeth. Anyways, it's just an idea I had, and I'll refine it in a minute. But, sometimes it is a good idea to just remember that not everything needs to be exactly like everything else. Vague statement, I know. I think that's the right block? Yeah, it is. Okay. Nah, I don't think it's worth it here. I think that's the block I'm supposed to be putting there. Yeah, it is. Well, I guess that answers that question that I had earlier. Okay. So occasionally I will copy a block that I know I'm just gonna get off my hotbar anyways. Just so that I don't have to go grab that. Just so I don't have to switch it out from the block group that I'm currently working on. And I know that's just goofy, right, what I did there, but it is what it is. Akiva, do you need more turrets? Do I even need to ask other Akiva? Yes. Want more turrets? Yes. Do you need more turrets? Yes. How many more turrets? Yes. Great job. Now, I don't know how I'm going to link that up, but we'll see. Ah, dang it, ran out of blocks. Okay, I am happy with that. So I am going to cut this one a little bit short today because I'm a little bit tired, and I don't feel that I have anything else to add to this build right now. So I'm going to go stop and show it off a little bit here. And it's just one of those things where this is just one of those builds where you model it off of something else, which has still got some texturing bugs. Oh, I'm never gonna. I gotta go over this one with a fine-tooth comb. And it's just constant adjustments. And there's a couple of things that I really want to do with it, but for now, I'm at a good stopping point. So, I would like to thank my patrons. You make this possible, and you allow me to deal with unexpected challenges with equipment and equipment failures, and it's just your support matters. Okay, I don't really know how better to say that. If you'd like to support me in some non-monetary way, consider hitting the like and subscribe down below. leave a comment. That helps me out a lot. It really does. Or if you'd like to get access to some exclusive rewards, I have some Discord only rewards as an incentive for coming to the Discord and just chatting with other people. There are some VPs such as the Ajax, which is what you saw earlier, and that is the most recent one. But you also get early access to some of the preview images of the builds I'm working on. So if you're wondering what I'm working on, check out the Discord. Anyways, thank you. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Remember to be kind to your fellow human. A smile is worth 1,000 words. And even if you're not feeling great, consider smiling. Because when you smile at someone, they'll smile at you. I don't really know how to say that. Project positivity into the world so that you get positivity yourself. Okay? I don't really know how to say that very well right now because my brain's a little bit fried. But I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Bye.